Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
Stomping the floppy shoes so hard, it'll lead to class delirious. You praying to stop so much, it's like you're having a religious experience. Despite all of your denials, I know that you know me. And your crew, ask your girl the last time she phoned me. Allegedly, just admit that even now you sing along. And even after I wreck you, you gotta bump my song. You should copyright loser because the dictionary cloned you. Crushed so hard, now my cleats own you. It's that umbrella guy, clutching the verbal hammer, locking you down in this inescapable syllable slammer. You wanna step up and try to oppose me? Yeah, you should ask anyone that really knows me. I'll take your blame, your girl, your dog, and move in your home, only to get out the vertical flamethrower and consume your plastic gnomes. You drip, you whip, you ride, your bride consumed by this mic hitter, just to drop them on the market to the highest bidder. It's that umbrella guy, live from the hat rack, with elbows that hit so hard you'll think it's a nuclear impact. I mean respecting you, please, that's the word you'll never earn. Yet another lesson you clowns have never learned. Along with standing tall and pride and repping values that you feel, and not fake morals you found inside your happy meal. I listen to you with your speaking style education, wondering if your parents bred with their relations. Wearing your big red nose and still thinking that you're a star, while you're forced to bump that umbrella guy inside your clown car. Yeah, it's that umbrella guy, broadcasting live to the masses. Timing out full, sorry we ran out of free passes. We gotta go further and not just expose you. Listen and believe royalty, we gotta depose you. Getting masked up because this flow is criminal. Dropping hammers so hard, they're subliminal. Unconsciously you want me to own you, as the parasol pope is set to dethrone you. And I'm out.
Maybe not out. What's up, folks? How's it going today? Man, today has started off really good, actually. Would you like to know something? I mean, something that we have all been wondering about, and it has kind of just popped into my lap. Thank you, by the way, to the oh so generous benefactor that pointed this out to. Would you like to see something very beautiful? Give me a second here. There's give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull this up here, okay? I think we found proof of somebody that I was wondering for a long time if they actually existed or not. You know, we've been talking about a certain lawyer out there. You know, the one that was attached to thumbnails and attached to everything else. Ask him whether or not he's real, you know, if he exists out there. Yeah, we found him on Twitter, it looks like. Oh, fun times. I really think this is this person. Let me throw this in here. I'm gonna do something nice first. I'm gonna take out their at. Just give me a minute, okay? But I am feeling like this has to be him. Just give me one moment. I'm I mean, this is brand new. I'm looking at it, so let me save the picture here. Like I said, I'm taking out the ads just for a moment. Not like you can't find it, but so let's check this out. See, he's never been active on anything we've ever found before. You know, they're all old. Well, he's actually got it looks like an active Twitter account. I'll tell you. So check this out. I really do believe that this is our boy. So check this out here. Is oops, there we go. Is that not our boy there? Is that not our boy? It really does look like him, doesn't it? That really does seem like him. I think that's our boy Scott, isn't it? Again, correct me if I'm wrong here. You know, don't contact or anything like that either. I took out his ad. I'm just saying, it does look like him. You know, it very much looks like him. Very much seems like him. He's very much active online. Well, which means something there. You know what that means? When we're talking about what the hells and people are posting, utilizing his name and all this shit, dude is right there. He's right there. Holy shit. I thought he was just, I started to think he was the invisible man online. And again, don't contact him or anything like that. I just find it really fascinating there. Oh, man. Isn't that fascinating, though? He's been sitting around. He's got an active Twitter. When I say active, he's active every day to every other day, it seems like. Very consumed with politics, which some people are. You know, that's your prerogative. But it's just interesting because there have been people, you know, that, again, they bring him up a lot. Like a lot. And he doesn't seem to. He's like one thing I don't see him talking about is law ever. Like I was going through his timeline, I was like, that's why I was confused on who it was for a minute. No law talk, you know. Very strange, very interesting, but so somebody found him amongst the accounts out there. Props to them, by the way. Appreciate you. I saw that from you. I don't know if you wanted me to know who you are. So, oh my goodness. The gifts. What side of politics is he on? Well, that never really matters. I mean, you can tell by, he says he's Catholic and stuff. So typically, descriptors, it doesn't always happen like this. Faith plus certain things, you can usually tell, but that doesn't really say that. I've got people here, for example, and people I know that are all over the political spectrum. You know, it's one of the beautiful things there. Political spectrum doesn't have to say what you're right or wrong in a case, you know. Like I said, that's one of the beautiful things about it. You know, that's why that's one of the shocking things too. You know, political spectrum doesn't make you a good person. Doesn't make you a bad person. Just makes you a person. You know, everybody has their own reasons why they're drawn to something. But anyway, just thought you would find that fascinating there. Wow, man, we're closing in on 2K people already. Like I didn't know how. You know, I talked yesterday about how we go over the shizzy letter because I really want. Tomorrow there's going to be something that's supposed to drop if it happens the way it's supposed to. Tomorrow night will be a banger because well, let's just pull this up here. Just give me a second. Actually, I'll show you something. Hey, while we're at it, let's just talk about some cool stuff that's going to go on. Because why not, right? Because why not? Let me see if I can find this real quick. Yeah, there it is. I got to screenshot it for myself real fast. we're going to have a gift tomorrow if, again, the time frame holds. You never know. I mean, but it does tell you that we do have a present coming. It's going to be a good one. Oh, check this out. Gosh, you're going to like this too. This actually made me happy to see. So check this out. God, I like clicking. Shara was noting something. And look, she's noting today when she was talking, she was like, hey, by the way, got a video coming tomorrow. Holy crap. Oh, baby. Oh, I cannot freaking wait. I love them. Her videos are absolute bangers, man. So, I mean, I just, I don't know if I can take many more gifts this early in the year. I'm like, man, it's like Christmas is spilled over into January. It has been a good year so far. But Shara had posted, for this, and it's at the bottom. You can see this. So listen to her. So she says on the January 4, 2024, 2LPR angrily stated in an obsessive manner she called CPS to talk at length with them about Jeremy, making Jeremy all the blame for CPS visits and to make sure CPS never visits again in this high-risk situation. Wait. So they called CPS about a guy that's not even part of what? So not only do we have a blame Jeremy incident for, oh Lord, things that go back to Northport, we have I guess yet another live stream that links up to all of the insanity that can link to the federal case. Because calling CPS to say everything's connected to this one guy, whoa, that's not smart. Not a wise endeavor at all. Why did 2L also state that JC can only be called daddy sometimes? So they're going after his kid yet again. Isn't that nasty? And let's see what Shar has to say. Why is that the rule? Stay tuned for my new video as the pieces to the puzzle come together. This goes far beyond offense in a very concerned famous YouTuber. Multiple people are threatened with lawsuit and criminal charges for their concerns for the child ongoing by MP's PR and legal team. New video tomorrow at 11:45. Let's see how that goes. This might be fun to check out. Yeah, what did they do? Oh, they're just hammering again. They went after, I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Let's talk just a little bit more about this, okay? So I talked about the legal items with Jeremy yesterday a little bit. I didn't want to get too crazy with that because I had a guest on, and I mean, she had nothing against discussing the subject, but yeah, let me pull these up here. 1 minute here. Like I said, when I pull this up, I do want to make this clear. I did reach out to Jeremy to make sure, again, very personal business. I don't see any reason to talk about it after today. Again, like this is probably the last time I mention it, unless some crazy people do something absolutely insane with it, just because it just bothers me. Like I said, there are people out there, this has gotten to the point where they don't care what damage they do. They don't care who they damage in the mix. They just damage people, I mean, they just damage people. But again, I'm going to point this out for anybody that's out there on the slow roll with these morons. You need to look at this stuff yourself because you have a whole picture. And what they did was they went through and they made sure that you only saw parts of it. They didn't actually cover everything that was associated with, again, there was no reason to pull this stuff anyway. There was no reason whatsoever that they should have pulled this, but they did. They pulled up divorce records. Now, we're talking about people that shill for somebody that has had armies of relationships that are bad, to the point that as one of the relationships, remember JC as part of this. Oh, JC, they supposedly, you think about how fucked up a person would have to be too. I really have this thought stuck in my head here. How fucked up of a person do you have to be? Not just to drive someone to their end, according to Miss Preston, but then to keep them in a bottle on your nightstand. How messed up does that have to be? I mean, you got to have something wrong with you in that motion. I mean, what are you keeping them as a souvenir? As a wardrobe? Why are you keeping them around? That's weird to me. Like, the more I think about that, I mean, it's like in the afterlife, you decide not to let them go even then. It's just so weird. So, I mean, them dragging his relationship into this is ridiculous on its face. People have complex relationships in life. Like I was talking about, these people dragged in. They drag up personal business on everyone. They don't like when their personal business gets dragged in, though. That's one of the things I found fascinating, too. They're talking about suing this person and that person. First of all, court records are court records. The same way that you pulled up court records on somebody, people pull court records on you, and it sucks, doesn't it? It fucking sucks, doesn't it? But you don't mind doing that to other people. You don't mind doxing. You don't mind defaming. You don't mind threatening. You don't mind bringing in people's kids. You don't mind all that business, do you? But you don't like it when it's pointed in your direction. But as far as Jeremy Hales' relationships is concerned, this sets out a pattern here. With a divorce, you can track it. You can see every filing that comes up. For example, like they brought up something in all of these filings. I'm not looking at one specifically, but I do want to, again, it's all in here. You can follow them just like a tale, like any tale. If you have a case after the fact, you can tell everything that goes on. I mean, it's clearly stated there. But they bring up this idea of a no contact order. Okay? It's one of these headlines here. No contact order. What they left out was a glaring word. It was the first thing I noticed in the screenshots that really annoyed me, because they kept being like, oh, he has a no contact order. No, it was a mutual no contact order. It was a mutual one. That pissed me off. Because of in divorces, first of all, if somebody asks for a protective order, a one-party person asks for it, they usually will grant it. In fact, I would say they almost always grant it. Because there's no business in not having it. Even if you had a one-party statement there, you don't know everything that goes on, but you have no idea how things play out. But when a person has a mutual, it means both parties are just being told that you have no business contacting each other whatsoever. And again, that's typical. Like, unfortunately, when relationships break down, I don't care if it's a relationship, when you're talking about a marriage or a friendship, businesses, you notice how many of them flame out, and they flame out really ugly. Like, this case has been a prime example of that, actually, because one of the things we've learned with haters is that when you've had relationships there, when they flame out ugly. And these people hold a fucking grudge forever. Now, if you take that and you think about somebody that's much closer to you, they know they know all your business. They're somebody you trusted. I mean, they know how to hurt you. And unfortunately, when relationships break down, people hurt you. And on top of that, when you have kids, you can't imagine if you haven't been through that, the court system, you cannot imagine what it's like. It's an awful fucking situation. It is. You know, lawyers are even worse. Like I was talking about, and I want to get a little more in depth on this too. There was this discussion of psychological evaluations. Like this really annoys me because if you've never experienced the court system, it is so beyond. There are two ways this can happen. Like I was talking about last night. You can either have an agency, really the court push it on you by an agency, or you can have the other party push it on you. Like I said, I've been there, not at fault. You don't do anything wrong. You don't have to. And you have to throw away every right that you have. Every fucking right. In Tennessee, I was talking about this last night, and you can look this up. It's called Rule 35, and it is so invasive. You cannot imagine it. And that is done by a party. Now, the same thing can be done again to both parties by the court. You know, it can be done by CPS essentially. And it doesn't mean anything. It means it's contentious. Excuse me. It means it's contentious. The weather here is so cold. So I hope y'all are staying warm, by the way, because it is awful here. It is freaking freezing here. I hope you all are safe. I hope if you had snow dumped on you, you're good to go. We haven't gotten any yet, but it is freaking cold here. So the weather dropping, my voice will crack every now and then, you know. It's cold enough. I'm sitting with my back on a heating pad, like, a heating pad chair with a blanket in my lap that heats. It's like, oh, yeah, it's good times. Fun times. Man, 2,300 of you, by the way. That's crazy. Different time slot on a Sunday. Sundays are usually my weakest day. That's a wild number. But on this subject, like I was saying, Rule 35 in Tennessee, I've had that. They all have different names depending on where you're at. But with the Rule 35, what I ran into was this. First of all, I ran into the court. They weren't even paying attention to what was going on. You have to have a hearing on it at first. Well, the judge literally came in and said, "Hey, I don't remember what this is about. It's just on my schedule." I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You know, what the fuck? That's messed up. You know, you don't even remember what it's about. Didn't know what a Rule 35 was because they are granted sometimes in larger areas, but you're supposed to have contention. There's supposed to be contention. You're only supposed to point those at people. They're in the wrong. Oh, by the way, this stuff costs a fortune too. If somebody pulls a Rule 35 on you, yeah. Here's a wonderful thing that you should learn from those too. Usually, like me, I get to pay for all this stuff aimed at me. So I paid $10,000 for somebody to come after and try to use psych testing and everything else to ruin me. It was really fucked up situation. It was awful. And I had the joy of paying 10 grand to do it. Yeah, it came out of my pocket. So a lot of fun, really fun times in there, you know, but with that's the actual cost too. And that's not where it stops, by the way. That doesn't include travel or anything else. It can balloon up to, you can force an agreement, but courts typically will not force you to stop an expert witness at anything under $15,000. So these people will bleed you. You pay for the privilege of having people try to ruin your life. It's fucking crazy. But the Rule 35, what they did at first, they give you a contract. The contract, I disputed. Court didn't even want to hear it. In fact, you had to give away lots of rights. It's nuts here. Like, you had to give away the ability to video or audio record. So you have no evidence whatsoever. You know, I would keep an audio recording of anything like that. Anything contentious like that, I would definitely keep an audio recording of, like, for sure. That way you can prove, because why would I trust these people? Like, they're making a lot of money, and they're scumbags. Actually, Actually, I'm just going to tell you something. Okay, I'm going to be blunt about something that happened. And I'll tell you how scummy this shit is, so you understand what people like a Jeremy Hales would have to deal with. One of the things that actually stopped the animosity in my life and paused all of this stuff was these people that were going to do the Rule 35, the party. Yeah, their big plan was, and they were talking about this behind the scenes. It was totally illegal, by the way. They're supposed to represent, they're supposed to be a neutral party. Okay, they're supposed to be neutral, but of course they're working for one party. Their big plan was to come in, they come into your home. You can't have any proof whatsoever. They give you an MMPI, so they give you a personality inventory. They call you fucked up in the head somehow. They come in, they will always find a problem no matter how it's stated. And their big plan, because I have 100% custody of my kids, their big plan was to try to take away one of my kids, and then with my other kid to shove them into state care until the other parent could eventually get a hold of them. And I wouldn't be privy to all of this stuff, except, well, let's just say I found out. Everything calmed down after that because the other party in that looked at how fucked up that was. That's how fucked up they are. That system is geared to destroy kids. It's geared to destroy people. And it feeds on your animosity. I mean, that happened in my real life. I lived that experience for a while. They were going to take my oldest kid, the kids you hear here. They were going to attempt to take one of them and shove them in state care. Nothing wrong. In fact, with all of this, again, I'm not bringing this up negatively. I've had a protective order. There were police involved and stuff. I wasn't the perpetrator in all of this. Again, I don't bring it up I'm just telling you how this fact plays out. And all of that, and despite that, there's still the system allows you to be targeted like that. That's just the way it works. It's really fucked up. So anytime somebody pulls up Jeremy stuff, you have no idea how fucked up that system is. It is nasty. It eats your kids. It'll eat your faith in the system too. Damn, if you got any faith in it, I didn't have any faith in it to begin with. But for everything that I thought was wrong with it, I experiencing it firsthand. Did you know, by the way, did you know that this is fascinating, and this is in almost every state. Did you know that in divorce, there's only one crime in the United States that you can actually profit from, and that is domestic violence. You, as a victim of domestic violence, could be forced to pay. This is not a statement of myself. This is something I've watched in the courtroom. Unless somebody is given a felony, then it doesn't matter. People can profit off of this stuff. It's the only crime you can profit off of. In the courtrooms, crazy stuff. And I say this because you don't know how fucked up a situation is. The record's right here. They don't say anything. For all you know in this, again, you could have animosity. You have it beyond, but the system is so broken that even if Jeremy Hales were a victim in this, it wouldn't read like that from the titles. And when you went in and read every file, it would make him look like a fucking monster, because that is the point in this stuff. Because people, especially with kids, people will fight over property, but they will fucking cut your throat over kids. They definitely will. They will ruin your life over them. That's a nasty business. So when I see these things, I mean, this doesn't read like what it reads to me is like there's conflict. Both parties are being examined throughout this stuff. And there are claims of parental alienation, which happens. It is a go-to for people, because the cases where it does happen are very extreme. And you think about that, you really think about it. If one party has a kid and they sit around And there's all this conflict and hate. Even in the best of situations, kids are going to pick up on that. I'm sure, like anyone that has ever come from a broken home, that's hard to avoid. It's very hard to avoid. So the idea of parental alienation existing, even unintentionally, can exist. But if it's intentional, if it's inflicted intentionally, it gets very, very bad. And again, we're talking about records. If you look at the dates on these, what's really fascinating about these records to me is how old, how far these people dig back to try to ruin. And yet they complain about places like Northport. So Northport's off the fucking board, right? We can't look at Northport. You're going to fucking sue us all for looking at it, even though we're looking at, I'm talking scamming. And if you want to try to threaten to sue people, BBB, over that, ruin jobs, have at it, bitch. You want to threaten? Man, just do it. Fucking coward. Bounding on their chests every day. Cowards, man. It's just words. One day he'll probably get his litigious bitch ass off of it and actually come after somebody. But until then, we're going to continue to look. And what's going to happen in the courtroom is everything that your PR has done like this proves that you know it's not illegal. But what's messed up is it's how you've tried to use things. These people have gone out and tried to destroy a business owner, destroy him in a community. And when they do it, all they do is run PR and they try to ruin this man's life. And you have dozens of examples out there of people talking about scamming. They're talking about concerns that were brought up by people that were not Jeremy Hales. Now, again, I showed you that screenshot where Shar is putting this stuff up, talking about how they contacted CPS to blame Jeremy. How do you blame Jeremy for Northport? How does that work? Is he a time traveler? But they'll bring up, again, a contentious divorce, but we're supposed to ignore everything that happened in the past with other people. So past matters unless. And again, when they look at the past here, like I said, they spin it. That's the ugliest part of it. They have the proof in front of them to a degree. To a degree. They have a timeline. I mean, you can follow the timeline. When you look at this stuff, it is laid out. You can see how this stuff goes. Now, the unfortunate thing when they look at this is they don't understand anything with law at all. They have proven this time and again. So when you look at the titles and you look at titles alone, if you don't understand what's being discussed, how would you know? And the reason I brought up Rule 35 and to bring up CPS and stuff, they made this huge deal about the psych evaluations. Man, that is commonplace. It is so invasive, though. It is so freaking invasive. You can see the court. They add a guardian ad litem. I mean, again, that's basically an advocate for the kid in there. They're supposed to do something in the best interest of the kid. Now, I will say courts don't do things in the best interest of children. They're notorious about not doing that. So, I will go with the word supposed to. I have a hate on for courts. I hate court systems. I do. They do not, everything that, whether prosecutors or court systems, everything they run on is a lie usually. Very few of them follow through. Very few of them actually do anything in the best interest of kids or victims. They don't. Man, the court's a money-making system. Policing and court systems, that's where the money to run governance comes from, and your taxes. That's where it all comes from. So it's there, and it runs on insane amounts of money. Everything they get to add to it, every procedure, every nasty thing that they can throw and they can say it's in the best interest of. Yeah, it just adds more money. They bleed you. You pay for all these agencies, worthless, useless agencies, useless people. You pay for them. But the psych eval, they talk about order granting. They were like, oh my God, did he fight that? Well, let's look at what's here. You know? Like, what do you say? Like, what can they see here talking about a psych eval, first of all? All they brought up was a motion for access to psych eval and magistrate's order granting motion for access. They're like, oh my God, there was fighting for it. Or there's people pushing to gain access. Dude, all of this stuff is commonplace. Again, I would want anybody giving me a psych eval. You cooperate with the courts because you have to. You 100% have to. Like, otherwise, if you don't, they'll punish you. It doesn't matter if you're in the right. It doesn't matter if you're the victim of something. They'll punish you because they can't stand the blow to their ego, first of all. So you better cooperate with that. Isn't it amazing? They've been 100% in the wrong, but you still got to go along. That's what really annoyed me with the grudge judge. Because you could see this guy being 100% wrong. We have an example of how fried the court system has been, and you still have to cooperate and play their game. Hope to God that an appeals court would step up for you. But in this, of course, if you had a psychological eval out there, would you want people accessing yours? Like, it's supposed to be closed off except in. You're going to have people digging through it. Now, looking at Germany, I'm going to say it this way, okay? Germany is not a client of mine or anything else. So as far as remote diagnosis, you can't definitively say anything about somebody. Looking at Germany, though, I'm not seeing any mental health problems in some extreme there, like popping up. You could diagnose almost every one of us. Remember that the beautiful thing about the DSM, or the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, is that you can diagnose 75% of the population just like that. And the reason you can is because the diagnostic manual isn't made for practitioners. It's made for insurance agencies. So that doesn't tell you a lot at all. So when I say, it's not extreme, you're supposed to have something to diagnose somebody. You're supposed to have something that interferes with life. Unfortunately, that's why they like to use the MMPI, because the MMPI is the perfect weapon in a courtroom. It is perfect weapon, but it's also I've seen it. I've seen places that use it and use it right, and I've seen it used as a weapon before. And if they use it for a weapon, woo, man! But with Jeremy, he doesn't have any warning sign. Like, you don't look at him and everything he does. You get to see him live all the time. You just get to see interactions and everything else. And you're getting to see him in the worst circumstances out there. And I've worked with monsters. I'm no longer in the field, thankfully. But I've worked around victims and monsters. And you just get to the point where there are some people you can't sniff out, but you get to the point where you can see. You just see certain things on people. You absolutely see it. It's almost like reading a book. And you see it in extreme emotions. If there's an extreme emotional condition, I would be worried, like, if Jeremy didn't show emotion, if he didn't react angrily sometimes, if he didn't react with concern. He just acts like a person. And he acts like a person under siege. But I would bet you money that there's not a bunch of like crazy bullshit in there. It's wild. And then they went through and they pulled out the other, like, when you go through again and you start looking through all these documents, you have a tale of something that spans years. And you have no idea how you get to stuff. But they made this big deal out of emancipation order. They were like, oh, you emancipated. Oh, gotcha. And they didn't read anything above it. They'd read about how we were talking about child support. I mean, that's a big one, isn't it? When you're talking about his son in this thing, you're talking about, and this is something that Jeremy noted in chat the other night. It was like, yeah, that's child support. That's exactly what I was saying with it. That's exactly what you see, but you can follow it and read it. You can tell what it has to do with. It's pretty damn clear. But that doesn't weaponize very easy, does it? Oh, man, a person is aging out. Therefore, you're not going to have to pay support on them anymore. Versus, oh, my God, emancipation. It's just yet another person from the fucking crowd over there that doesn't know what a gauntlet is. I mean, they think running the gauntlet means the French Revolution, I suppose, and guillotines. I mean, and the problem is that they have aimed this stuff. They pulled his kid with this kind of shit. What they're trying to do is they're trying to come up with a reason why they pulled in this man's kid. And they took somebody that very much looked like they were vulnerable. I mean, there was a lot of vulnerability there. And they even told us that he had a quote-unquote lawyer representing him there. Are we talking about BBB? Are they talking about you, buddy? Because I hope to God you didn't tell this guy that you would represent him if something happened. Because if you solicited this man's kid, if that happens to be the case and there's any record of that whatsoever, buddy, woo, fucking A, that will be a problem. That would be a real problem. Oh, man. But these have been posted. These are actually posted on one of the Facebook places. Every one of the documents. And you can follow them through it. Just make sure you understand what it's talking about. If you're confused about law items, an attorney can talk to you and tell you what they are. You can find them all over. You can be like, hey, what does this mean? And they'll tell you, this stuff is pretty much standard form. That's what you see. Contention, man. There's nothing here. There's no gotcha. There's no bomb. The real bombshell was these people taking this stuff and using it like a bludgeon when it wasn't that. And I hate it for, man, I hate that for Germany. It makes me mad. It makes me mad sometimes. Because like I said, I myself dealt with the system. I've been lucky in my life that, again, the things are at a good place in my life. You know, that the things that led there, alcohol and other stuff, not on me. You know, I'm not saying that I had substance issues way back when before I ever had kids. I've never had anything with that. My kids, man, the best thing in my life. I've never had a problem with alcohol. I actually had a problem with pain medication because I have a permanent disability, and you know, oftentimes I don't do anything for that. Alcohol's insidious, though. It's nasty. It's very bad because it's everywhere, and that's where, you know, it wasn't the alcohol; it's what came with it. But all of that has been cleared and cleaned for a long time now. It's amazing, like, you know, it took a long time to get that, but it's good. That's a good thing. I'm fortunate in the fact that my kids don't have to be impacted like that. People can be adults in a situation. And finally, maybe you have to hit rock bottom to actually push out. And rock bottom did come. And after that, recovery came finally. I've been married almost 20 years. So, I mean, that ages me a bit, I suppose. But, oh, yeah, no, we're We're talking about a long time with somebody, and they become something totally different in that. Let my cigar back up. Give me 1 minute. Then we're gonna look at that email. I get so irritated with them like weaponizing this kind of shit, and then whining and complaining, saying they're going to sue Facebook. Fucking Facebook, really? Get in line. You know, Facebook has some of the best attorneys on the planet. You realize that, right? You're going to sue them, or you're going to try to uncover a bunch of anonymous accounts that post public records, by the way. I mean, is that what you're going to go after? Because what's going to happen when you, say you do manage to get some anonymous accounts unsealed. It'll be fascinating. I hope you never posted over there under anonymous account. Any of these fucking clowns over there. What they'll find is, well, a bunch of them have done that stuff as well. What they post is craziness. And if there is a precedent set where they could actually uncover it, might not work out too well for a lot of them cheerleading that either. Might actually get really sideways. But it's interesting. Again, they didn't like it when personal things came about them, but they threatened to, again, I've heard it pointed toward me. Ooh, the dark web. It's like, fuck you, say. They like to dogs. They like to cause people. If best case scenario, they cause people again to contact my wife and this stuff, who had been working on herself and getting her shit together. After doing all of that, they at minimum caused somebody to do that because they were looking for a weapon. And at worst, you know how that can go. So, but I love that whole, we don't do anything. The fuck you say you don't do anything. Nastiest people on the planet, man. Don't like that, sue for it. Fucking sue me. Like I said, I will crowdfund a freaking... I won't crowdfund defense. You can waste my time a bit, and that's okay, because I have time now. I'm not juggling a day job too, and juggling all this other insanity. All of it's set down right now. I have one thing I'm doing, and it's this. That is my job. I would crowdfund litigation, but not only would I have time where that wouldn't stress me out, I would monetize the fuck out of it and have a good time with it. But also, I will countersue you to oblivion, and I will never stop. I will do what a Jeremy Hales is doing. Only, man, I mean, Jeremy, I'm always amazed sometimes by the amount of stuff that they've kept. But then I think, man, look at all this shit that I've built up, and that Megan has built up, and that other people have built up as proof of what these people are and what they represent. That includes you, BBB. That very much includes you. Like, lawyers don't typically end up, the reason that they like to be litigious is they usually benefit from being assholes, but they don't end up in the countersuit. But BBB, man, very much so. If there's any way on earth to sue him, oh, Jesus, man, I come after him hard. I would for sure. Oh, for sure. Now, again, that assumes they'll be standing with anything left, depending on how this German case goes. They've already dropped one vexatious lawsuit, too. So, see how it goes. Anyway, let's read some of this open letter. That was the point today. But I mean, I get irritated by some of these people sometimes. What a bunch of morons. Like I said, tomorrow, about JH's son. I'm not surprised. Like, again, I'm not surprised by any of it. Now, Shitty wrote an open response letter to BBB, and it's actually a pretty good one. Now, Jeremy has a live stream tonight. We'll see how far we roll with this. It takes me X amount of time to get through super chats, so we'll read until Well, until we hit that wall. But I wanted to go over this with you. Talking about to old Bruce the Bruces. So, yet another open letter. January the 2nd. Dear Bruce, or Deuce of former flesh revolved. What a delightful way to kick off the new year. Another verbose, self-righteous diatribe from your high horse. And it was, very much so. I must admit, reading your missive was almost as entertaining as watching you bungle yet another attempt to paint yourself as the hero in this melodramatic farce of your own creation. For someone who claims to understand the law, your actions continue to demonstrate stunning lack of comprehension about both legal ethics and common sense. Bravo, Brucey. Bravo. That's true. I'll start by answering some of your questions because even an R-tard like me can respond in such a quote-unquote simple way, just like Shizzy Daddy should. Give me 1 second. So why should the chance to exonerate yourself from legal claims that are still being pursued? Oh, Bruce, you mean we should just abandon the claims because you say so? And that's a very good point. He's like, why wouldn't you just pull yourself out of it? Why wouldn't you do this? When you're in the right, you should just drop it. You should just drop your right to do something because... Funny how you're so quick to forget that when there's real merit behind something, running away doesn't make it disappear. The claims are still there, just like your client's embarrassing attempt at hiding the quote-unquote private person label after, or hiding behind it, rather, after running for office. Not just running for office, but again, so many other things. She has made herself public. She tried to attach herself to what the hell's, and it unfortunately, it is worked in much of the way a parasitic relationship would work, you know? Like if I'm wading through a swamp and I get a fucking leech on me. That's how I see that, you know? It is not a mutually beneficial relationship. It is not a relationship in which they're like, oh my God, Jim is going to make $1 million out of me. It's like, no. He's already built something that didn't need it. But yeah, just the same way there. But hey, maybe next time she'll read the fine print before tossing her hat in the ring. And that is a good point right off the bat. Limited purpose public figure. She's happy enough too. Here's the fascinating thing as well. Apparently these people are happy enough to bring up politics, to bring up people that are in office, to make outlandish claims about someone like a Jeremy Hales in relation to that stuff too, and to bring themselves up and to say Jeremy Hales first had a problem with them because they ran for office. Oh, well, that's fascinating. Huh. That's interesting. You ran for office. Okay. Good times. Fun times. Why make such antagonistic public statements on Twitter in response to the voluntary dismissal instead of accepting the new status quo? You know, Brucey, not everyone folds like a cheap suit when voluntary dismissal happens. Some of us actually take the time to address the nonsense rather than pretending it doesn't exist. But I get it. Your client used to playing the victim. Yes, their client's used to playing the victim there for sure. And you seem to think the world should just roll over. So here's an idea. Instead of worrying about why we're responding, maybe try reading the room. The quote-unquote new status quo you're so fond of is a fantasy in your head. Indeed, there is no new status quo. I mean, what the fuck? The new status quo is BBB opening vexatious litigation and then having to drop it because he knows it. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Scott, right? That was quote unquote Scott, right? Okay. So is your right to mock and humiliate someone on YouTube thumbnails so important? You know, the thing that's missed in this, a lot of people miss your right. Now, he can spin it as whatever else afterwards, but he admits that this is a right. He's like, is your right? All of my rights are important. That was the thing Brucey said. Is your right so important? Yes. I don't give them away. Because you know what happens after you give away your rights? They never come back to you. They never do. And what he's talking about this to Larry. Larry, that he's not one of those people that seems to fold like a paper towel. Seems like somebody that might enjoy fighting in the courtroom. And this whole idea of mocking and humiliating, if you're humiliated by the litigation that you brought and dropped because it was such a freaking punchline, because you went out and filed ridiculous claims. You even had, you want to know how ridiculous and how loaded this was. Jerry has a court go against him. He has a judge, which a appeals court agrees on, by the way. They absolutely agree on this stuff. And it's still not enough because these people made such a bungling attempt out of it. I mean, you think about that. You have the judge on your side. That is a loaded deck. That's as loaded as it can get. But it was such a fiasco, such a farce. And she made it a farce that, yeah. By the way, there are 2,800 of you. Thank you. Man, I did not expect that for today. Almost 3K. I very much did not expect that today, while going through the stuff. If you would today, do me a favor. Tell people we're live. Of course, we've been live for a hot minute, but I didn't say this earlier. Make sure that you like. That does help out. It helps out people finding stuff. And if you'd like to go further, since we are fun employed, and since we are independently running this stuff now, if you'd like to go further and you would like to back these endeavors, well, consider the EO breadstick. Apparently that helps out. And also, it's one of the things that old BBB, like he talked about so many times in his filing. How dare you make money? But anyway, they're right there. And thank you all. I appreciate it. It's been a fabulous run so far. I've been having fun. So, Bruce, mocking and humiliating. Is that what you think this is? Sorry to disappoint, but what we're doing isn't mocking. We're simply pointing out the obvious. That is very true. Those little things that you keep trying to bury under all your legal jargon, PR genius. It's not our fault. You've made such a spectacle of yourself that every time you do something ridiculous, it's practically begging to be noticed. But hey, if you want to keep confusing transparency with mocking, feel free to keep doing you. And that is true. If he wants to confuse one with the other, well, keep it up there. We'll just keep calling it like we see it. But don't worry, BBB. I'm just your PR team, and we'll keep spinning it into something that makes you look good. Yep, that PR team, I'm sure they will. They'll just try it. That's the problem, though. They had to spin denials and to say they were winning somehow. Like, when the court is like, yo, we're not going to let you do that. We're shooting you down. I've seen some pretty desperate attempts, but to go out and to cheerlead and to say that denials equal, it's just kind of amazing, isn't it? But, well, at least to them. Are you a free speech warrior for the right to mock private people on YouTube? Oh, Brucey, free speech warrior. No, nice try. But again, we're not mocking private people. We're simply addressing public behavior. Actually, we are talking about a limited purpose public figure in something that he admits is a huge event. He's invited many people to watch. So, yeah. See, it's not our fault. You've made your legal drama and annex public. When you choose to throw yourself into the spotlight, you can't get upset when people notice and, comment on it. You might want to reconsider whose quote-unquote private life we're talking about, because when you're out here stirring up trouble on YouTube, it's hard to call it private anymore. But hey, I'm a free speech warrior, So if that means calling out people who can't handle their own BS in public, then I'll wear that badge proudly. You also have to remember something too. All of this stuff is happening within court cases, which are very much public. This stuff is public. You have access to it. You know? It's a good question. I think Rat's S says, is BBB trying to entrap others into harassment, knowing he may become a witness or litigant himself? Always assume protection to everything said and done. Well, interestingly, one of the things, that's why one of the reasons I would say not to contact these people yourself. You're allowed to make statements on, he's writing open letters to the public. And you damn sure can comment on that stuff. And you damn sure can comment on you can comment on the legal apparatus, period. The court system is yours as a taxpayer. But on top of that, you can comment on these public cases that are going down. You definitely do not. You want to make sure that you do not contact them specifically. You do not give them ammunition for that. That way, you can catch them on stuff. And I'll warn them too. Very much so. If they go out and they try to falsely create harassment, and we've seen that in other cases. If they try to create it with anonymous account, you can track that down too. And boy, you get caught doing that shit, huh? Remember John Cook, in fact, he had created anonymous harassing accounts. It is in one of the Shara videos. It's 100% in there. Deny it all they want. They wish they may, they wish they might, but it's hard to ignore that receipt tonight where he's talking about it. I mean, he's just straight up, man. So you got to remember that too. But if they'll create anonymous accounts for that, what else will they create anonymous accounts for? That's why you could link them back. These people are not smart enough to create anonymous accounts. If they were ever put under any scrutiny, you could definitely tell who they were. I'll catch every super chat too. I just saw that. I got nothing now like that. That was funny. I saw that roll in with it. But you accuse. Okay, now let's address the elephant in the room. Your obsession bordering on type of behavior highlighted in 18 U.S.C. 512, which criminalizes attempts to intimidate or influence witnesses. The audacity to claim moral superiority while simultaneously engaging in what can only be described as a campaign of harassment and bad PR is astounding. You accuse others of exploiting situations for clicks and views, while you also weaponize the legal system to harass or to threaten and intimidate. Let's be honest, generate your own version of tabloid drama. That's a very good statement there, I would say. I would say, too, that it goes beyond that. And let's see where it goes with it. And while we're on the subject of PR, hats off to your quote-unquote team for their stellar work and screen the proverbial pooch. It's genuinely impressive how you managed to turn every opportunity for redemption into yet another circus act. Due to your actions, cause and effect. The fact that one of your PR team members may also be named in this mess. That's true. It's almost poetic because their quote-unquote strategy has done nothing but make you look worse. And I thought I was the only Arzard around here. It turns out I've got competition. Don't worry, Bruce. I'm still the daddy here. Despite your desperate attempts to knock me down a peg, and trust me, even at my best, that's not a far fall. It's clear that I'm living rent-free in your head. Yes, that is very clear. It is most interesting about me. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel and still failing. That's hilarious. He's like, man, you're aiming low and you're still missing the mark. Oh my God, that's funny. So let's face it, even if I were drunk and addled, I'd still be better at this than you. What does that say about your skills or lack thereof? Now, about MC Law deciding not to have you on his channel, can you blame him? I wouldn't blame him. First of all, I wouldn't have Bruce on. I made this very clear. I don't trust Bruce. He showcased who he was around with Veteran Nation. We saw the screenshots behind the scenes. He's lied about this at every opportunity, saying that he has not encouraged people to flag channels and more. He was on a show, and he was encouraging people to take down said show. Huh. While publicly professing how Veteran Nation, he was trying to sing his praise, trying to say, oh, Skipper, you're much better than those other people because you'd have me on. By the way, YouTube, let's flag them down. I'm like, whoa, what? Isn't that interesting? It's like a tale of two cities. There's this little city called Reality, and there's a little city called BBB. The city of bubbles, man. But MG Long, can you blame him? A lawyer with actual ethics wouldn't touch your nonsense with a 10-foot pole. It's not about nuking his channel. It's about not wanting to risk his reputation by associating with your relentless, flailing attempts to justify the unjustifiable. You're not exactly a beacon of professionalism, Brucey, and maybe that's why MG Law, DUI guy, have stayed as far away from you as possible. They know what you apparently don't. Ethics still matter. Men aren't intimidated by you, Brucey. They're just unimpressed. Wow. Speaking of unimpressed, your natural aggression toward women is another glaring red flag. Man, Shizzy, woo. Is this why you seem to single them out for your tantrums? What is it, Brucey? A deep-seated insecurity, bruised ego, whatever it is, your inability to control yourself speaks volumes about your competence or lack thereof. Maybe that's why your peers steer clear of you. They see what the rest of us see. A man desperately trying to claw his way out of a hole he dug for himself. And on the subject of struggles, Bruce, I hear there's a pill for a small problem you may be having. Whoa, oops. Oops. But there's more, so let's dive in, shall we? Quote, this is quoting OBBB, anything that's bold-faced is quotation. As a lawyer, you know better than most who are following that that a major aspect of What the Hale's Bad Neighbors story is abusing litigation to generate content. Abusing litigation. This guy, man, he's such a clown about that too. This guy, he solicits other lawyers to try to get them involved to bring on more vexatious litigation. He goes after people, including law enforcement officers, that allow a guy to move his property. What the heck? But yes, the classic blame the lawyer's routine. Never mind that you're the one publicly demanding attention, sending out emails, and making sure everyone hears about your quote-unquote legal expertise by spreading the drama. If litigation's being used to generate content, you're the one feeding the fire. You're the one getting the Cankle twins to send out bad legal takes like candy on Halloween, and somehow I'm the one generating content? Well, look at you, feeding your own narrative to the public. If litigation is your idea of content, maybe you should start charging a subscription fee. But hey, you're the one who can't stop playing the game. You wanted the spotlight, Bruce? Now you're the one scrambling to keep it. Can't quite blame others for the circus when you've put on the biggest show in town. That is true. That is true. It's the clowns blaming the crowd for the spectacle.
Meow.
Are you a kitty cat?
Meow. I can say kitty and dog.
Yeah. Man, my hands are cold. Are they cold? Let's see.
Yeah.
Is it cold on your neck? Oh, feel that? Is it freezing? Oh no, I didn't turn the heat up down here. Oh Lordy.
I can say cat. Meow, meow.
Yeah.
I can say dog too. Woof, 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 woof.
Oh my goodness, that's very good too. That is an impression. But I better watch out. Dogs will think you're real, and they'll think you're a dog too. They'll come running.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're like, oh
What's
man.
this duck? What duck is that?
I don't know which duck that is. I don't know. You like that little duck?
But I like this duck. Mom gives it to me.
You want a duck?
I want one of these ducks. I already have one of these, but I want this duck.
Okay, well, you can take it upstairs. If you take it upstairs and set it on your dresser up there, you can have it.
Cute.
All right. Well,
What's
take it
his
with you.
name?
I don't know. What do you want to name it? There's a toy duck over here. It's a little tiny one. So she's talking about it. What do you think its name should be? Ducky McDuckins?
Duck Eater 2000.
What? Did you say Duck Eater?
2000.
Duck Eater 2000.
Mhm.
Okay, that's good enough. That's not what I expected the little toy duck to be named, but that's good. Duck Eater 2000. Okay, we'll take him upstairs. Set him up. Hey, go have fun. It's our lazy day. Remember?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we close the door for me.
Yeah, I hope they come out with a love duck, a Valentine's duck.
A Valentine's duck. Oh yeah, man. Valentine's ducks are awesome.
Yeah, I hope they put hearts on the top of the Valentine's duck.
Oh yeah, it would be very cool.
Yeah, with
Okay, well, go have fun. Play with it. You can have it. That was funny. There's these little bitty, like tiny ducks. You know, they're these little bitty toy, like rubber duckies almost, and but they're really small. She was like, "What would be a great name for one? Duck Eater 2000." I was like, "Wait a minute, I don't want to examine that name too much. That's pretty morose, dark." Oh, love it. I love it. That's hilarious. All right, let's get back to our reading. Oh man, I'm sure we'll get another raid after that. There were a couple more ducks over here, so you should probably come for them all. Okay, quoting. Did you ever watch the 10 feet video of the incident used to get a contempt ruling in Ohio? Please analyze it with your legal expertise. Here's a fascinating thing. You notice they only want you to talk about specific items with everything that goes on in Ohio. They don't want you to talk about certain videos out there that, well, let's talk about one John Cook recorded, shall we? I thought that one was really interesting, but I guess that's probably not worth checking out, right? So I'm sorry, Bruce. I didn't realize that you were running a legal analysis. There we go. Blah. Service on YouTube. Got to get my brain back there. This is so critical. Why didn't you cover it yourself? You know, like an actual legal expert would. But wait, isn't it more fun to throw your client's name into the mix to make content for yourself? I'll gladly give it a look. But here's the thing. You're the one who's been too busy with distractions to focus on what really matters. So, if you're so concerned about the quote-unquote legal issue, maybe you should stop trying to get the Cankle twins to pretend it's a big deal while everyone else is sitting here pointing out your legal blunders. But hey, maybe you'll analyze it next time after you sort out the mess you're in, of course. Maybe indeed. How about analyzing the issues? The Ohio court exercising jurisdiction in the first place. That's a real legal issue for a real legal expert covering a real story in a serious way. Didn't somebody write a letter in Ohio trying to cause somebody problems there? Trying to cause a resident problems? Was it that part of our major problem there? Maybe you should talk to his clients about causing problems like that. What do I know? I don't know. You know, of course, I don't know. I'm just one of those non-lawyer types that he's like, oh, look at those non-lawyers. But I've been keeping score. And, well, again, you never know what a court's going to do. But holy crap, I think I could get my 5-year-old to write better arguments sometimes. You know, I mean, seriously. That'd be awesome. She could write in Crayola. They'd sound much better than this garbage that we've seen lately. I mean, it feels like different leagues. So funny you bring up jurisdiction, Bruce, especially when you're trying to make it seem like you're a serious legal expert. Funny how no one's asked you to step up and offer your take on this when the real issue is handling of this whole case. Jurisdiction's a hot topic. It's just a smokescreen when you're busy playing legal poker on the internet. You might want to focus on jurisdiction in the actual courtroom instead of giving unsolicited YouTube expert advice. And that's, it is interesting. He's involved in an ongoing legal dispute. And the thing that he keeps going with is, how about Ohio? It's like, how about you fucking keep your nose in the game where you're supposed to be, buddy? Maybe that would be one. Did you ever address the video of John Cook being accosted with homophobic slurs and challenged to a brawl? Please analyze it. Oh, yeah, homophobic slurs and threats to fight. But wait, did you ever address it? You're the one who posted the drama, got people talking about it, and now want us to analyze it. Bruce, this whole thing is a mess, and you're feeding the fire with every word you type. Who needs an analysis when you've made it so easy to mock you? But hey, don't mind me. I'll be waiting for the next content opportunity. Bless the internet with. Oh, right. You've got enough distractions going on to pick and choose your battles. I get it. And now analyzing this would take away from the fun of using this for content, huh? Did you ever cover the federal claim and allegations? You're a YouTube legal expert, after all, and you covered the story in one-sided way. I always like that, too. One-sided way. That means a way that doesn't agree with me. That's always what it means, Well, there's an interesting question. Is Jeremy only adding one of the PR team to the federal lawsuit? If so, is the other one the mole? Well, I'll answer that with a speak later on moles. I love the moles. I'm not saying that they are. I'm just saying, I think they're very desperate to know who's been leaking stuff out of their camp. Somebody has. It's funny too. They say things like, the other channels that are out there covering this, they've run out of content. Oh no. When the PR and the BBB are involved, we never run out of content. Like I said, I have been looking for months going forward or going backward and looking at what may come up as far as everything she had to say in her depo. And I can't get back there. There's so much goodness. But I also think it's a don't pay attention to them. You might actually see something leaking out of our own camp. So, Bruce, you thinking we're missing something here? Maybe it's because the federal claims are already being discussed, indeed, by people who know what they're talking about while you're busy playing catch up. Maybe it's because we're all a bit tired of your one-sided whining. His filings are actually, I've been enjoying covering Bruce's filings because they seem to come with his thing right afterward. Denied. Now, again, I don't know what they'll do about adding parties. I think there are two parties for sure. Like, I don't know other parties involved. I've not gone in and looked all of that mess up because there's so many pieces juggling. If they're added, then we'll see exactly what the additions look like. But there are two parties that I did keep up with because, again, we're talking about her own lawyer and we're talking about self-professed PR, which Lynette Preston herself is saying is her voice. But maybe it's because we're all a bit tired of your one-sided whining. You've covered what you've wanted, but now the facts are catching up with you. It's time for a real expert to weigh in, huh? Sorry, Bruce. I don't think your legal expertise is going to fix your PR, no matter how much you put on the leather gimp suit and get spanked. Better not next time. Now, how about your thoughts on Hale's deposition and your lawyer and mine? He's like, please rate me. He sounds like a pick-me. You know what I mean? Please don't swipe me away, sir. I'm telling you, the more I read with that, the more I kept thinking again, I'm going to reflect back to it, that Kenny Rogers song, you know? If you just change, let's see. Kenny Rogers. Give me 1 minute. I'm pulling something up real fast. I mean, think about it. Like, again, you change the lyrics a little bit, but the song Lady, change it to Larry. You know, Larry, I'm your knight in shining armor, and I love you. You've made me what I am, and I am yours. My love, there's so many ways I want to say I love you. Let me hold you in my arms forevermore. Doesn't that sound what that letter really sounds like to Larry? Please, Larry, please pick me. Please tell me I did a good job. I love it. Larry's like, nah, thanks. I'm in a relationship right now. Thank you for your interest. If you'd like to leave your name and number and never get a call back. Oh my God. Well, you know, shoes your notes. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Your deposition conduct, Bruce. You want to comment on that? We have been. Yours especially egregious, and everybody knows I'm living rent free in your head, haven't I? But sure, feel free to pretend you're the one making all the legal moves while we all watch you crumble under the pressure. The Kinkle twins couldn't even save you from yourself. You're so wrapped up in making sure everyone else behaves properly that you lost sight of your own role in this. Son, oh, cracking out the sun. You know that it's hard to look professional when you're throwing tantrums online and getting spanked by the judge. Yeah, the judge commented on it. You know, Larry doesn't actually need to comment on his depo because the judge did. The judge said, 100%. You need to stop with this useless questioning. You need to stop going out doing all of this ridiculous nonsense. And it's fascinating to me. Like, there are things that would come up in the depo. You understand why Jeremy reacts a certain way because you've got a lawyer out there that he's like, I swear I won't leak any of this stuff. I swear, Scout's honor. If you bring it up, you can understand why Jeremy would be like, hell no. I'm not talking about that to you. I'm talking about my business contracts, how things work. And I mean, the line of questioning, if you were to take the same line of excuses and you were to apply them, you imagine, for example, if people had put signs out about him that said the exact same things. I'm not going to say what they said because I'm not alleging that in any way, shape, or form. But could you imagine his reaction if those things were said about him? He can't take the term ambulance chaser. He couldn't take doesn't have clients. He says that is attacking and trying to ruin him. Could you imagine if people staked out signs accusing him of some things that are societally the worst things people can? And if they would have done it where he lives, could you imagine his reaction? Because I can. Ryder Chick noted, by the way. Doug, I can't believe you're doing a live while Denver and Casey are playing football. I have to be here and not there. Oh, well, still love you. Don't push it. Yeah, I actually tuned out of football when they started changing the rules and started turning into a non-contact sport. Can't hit them in the head. Can't hit them in the knees. Can't tackle them certain ways. I used to watch football, but one of my favorite football games I ever saw was back in the 1990s with San Francisco playing playing the Giants. It was a defensive game, 7-3 actually. Mark Varro had his kneecaps blown out in that game. You cannot have games like that anymore. So when it became like more like arena football and less like football, I get why they do it. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars invested in this thing. I don't find it as fun anymore, you know? And I also don't like this. One of the things that I don't like is if you want to really keep up with it, back in the day, if you picked up everything like the NFL Sunday ticket, it costs like $99. Now it costs $600 plus you have to have the $100 investment in YouTube. So I mean, you're talking about that plus you have to have 3 apps to keep up with all the other games, the Monday, the Sunday night, and the Thursday. You're talking about $1,000 investment if you really want to watch football. So for me, I catch them on highlights. If it's a really interesting sounding game, I'll go back in the aftermath and maybe watch part of it. But they lost me. They lost me. Now, if people enjoy it, awesome. I like it. Last year, I watched some more because my youngest would sit down and she would watch some of it, and she actually, interestingly, liked it. So. That's where we got with it. But yeah, I lost football, man. Or they lost me. I'll see the scores afterward, though. But lots of great content here. Easy and cheap and plenty of interest from your audience in it. Oh, absolutely, Bruce. You made it so easy for everyone to churn out content. In fact, you're practically begging for us, rather, to keep making videos about your screw-ups. He is. That's the funny thing. He's like, oh, people are making like low effort content. First of all, yeah, investigative journalism is not low effort content. There's a lot of things you have to explore. You have to find things. Sometimes you fall into it. Some days it's just easy. Like BBB writing a letter. It's easy. You can laugh at it. But you know what? To truly comment on that letter, you have to have how many hours invested to really understand the legal drama? How many documents have I had to read? How many players have I had to sort out? So that low effort, easy, cheap, yeah, it's not that easy sometimes. And honestly, too, Larry, he could be quiet because he's planning. That could very well be it. A real indication he's planning on coming after these people. I mean, again, they took litigation. They sidelined said litigation. I mean, it's wild. You know, and now they're threatening to bring up litigation yet again. I mean, that's nuts. That is absolutely nuts when you think about it. Hey, by the way, that's crazy. So when you take... I haven't even looked at super chat numbers today. When you take the numbers for outside and then you put them in with the numbers here, 45 already, man. That's crazy. We almost hit 50 again. I mean, those are wild numbers. Like I appreciate all the support. I have all the confidence in the world, though, that I can cover whatever I want, and people will go and they will listen to it. I've been fortunate. I've been blessed with it. So BBB's idea that the story, it's not just the story. It's the people that listen being entertained and wanting to listen to it. And oftentimes that has to do with the show that you watch. You can pick a million people out there to talk about something. That's what BBB, if it was so easy to cover, why hasn't BBB popped off 100,000 subscribers? Why can't the PR do that? I mean, seriously, why can't they do it? But the more you want, the more material we get. And the funny thing is, you're so desperate for attention that you don't realize You're providing the best content for us. And we're not even trying that hard. Keep it up, Bruce. I'm sure your audience will love the continued train wreck. And remember, Bruce, because of you, you set this up. We're just enjoying the show. Yes, that's another thing, too. As somebody covering something, I need to enjoy the show, the spectacle. I don't enjoy that it's pointed at Jeremy Hales. What I enjoy, though, is the spectacle of somebody getting just totally obliterated by this nonsense they themselves have brought on. Yeah. Oh, man. So every filing in the federal court has been analyzed to death by a bunch of what the hell surrogates. But they're all non-lawyers, you know. Yep, Jeff, boy. I talk about disrespecting somebody, but then again, you know, the admission. I mean, even Jeff was such a nice guy in that too. He'd be like, "Hey, why don't you act better? Why don't you act better in that BBB?" But hey, so you carve a niche. Even our side has no YouTube lawyer covering the case yet. Our side. See, I always like those statements. Our side. Isn't that fascinating? You know, somebody else, here's the weird spectacle of YouTube. Sometimes people will comment on something that you do, like your idea on something. But typically, people can think different things about a case. And they don't cross over. They don't talk about each other. Again, there's a lawyer, a YouTube lawyer that was attached to this case. Again, he has the right to do that. You know what he did? He shut the fuck up. He hasn't talked about it. He treated this stuff like doing what Bruce does is not in the best interest of his clients. They have motivated people like Shara to come out with information where she was conflicted and didn't know where to go with it. What happened? They motivated her. They pushed her. They threatened her. And apparently, that seems to be standard form from what we hear. Again, we saw the lady on Facebook, Northport, or Shara talk about Wes with an ongoing police investigation. I mean, it's wild, isn't it? Anywhere else, that would have been a problem too. I'll say that straight up. If you went out and told a witness that you were going to sue them and you were threatening, basically, signs them anywhere else, that'd have been an issue. You did that here, holy crap! The police would definitely have a conversation with you. But not in Levy County. Okay. So now we're trying to carve a niche. Funny, I thought the real niche was your continuing inability to step up and handle your own messes. But hey, I'm sure your side is still trying to figure out how to spin this all into something resembling a win. Good luck with that. They try that every day. Spin, 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 baby. Spin, spin, spin. And for the record, if you're really hoping to get someone to cover your side, maybe start by not giving people so much material to work with. You're practically begging for attention at this point. So what's next? Another letter begging for legal expertise? I mean, that's what it is. And when you look at this is begging for Larry to cover him. He's like, please tell me, Larry, what you think about my... I mean, holy crap. You claim all the attacks from Fox, Tug, Shizzy. That's me, by the way, he says. Yeah, I'll lower that and be like, well, you notice the hate on for Megan Fox, too. I mean, it's astounding. Megan Fox is their number one. You know why? Because of her exemplary work in places like Northport. That has been amazing to see. But in the rest of the irrelevant YouTubers, having no effect on your regular law practice. Really, here's the thought. And nobody, fascinatingly enough, nobody's tried to contact his clients, nor would I. If he actually has clients out there, I don't want to know about him. He's the one bringing up that he has clients. He's the one that's saying that that's an issue, that you're wrong about it. That's not. We've been doing him a favor by saying he has no client. Is that harassment, Bruce, like you say? Is that an attack, or is that us doing you a favor? Maybe saying, hey, this guy doesn't have anybody to talk about, so just leave that alone. Huh. Weird, isn't that? But he's like, yes, I do. It's like, don't contact any of those people. Fuck, man. What a moron. But here's a thought. Maybe the fact that you're spending so much time whining about us means we're having some effect after all. If your other so-called clients don't know about the case, well, they will soon enough. Don't worry about that. Yeah, he said it's going to get monstrously big. He tried to recruit media into this. How do you imagine? Just like your quote-unquote federal case isn't going as smoothly as you hoped. Yeah, like it still exists. Remember, he told us it would be gone by now, especially since Jeremy's busy refusing to settle. Oops. Yes, indeed. I think they all thought they were going to get an easy cash payout with people like Jeremy. They thought that they could just bring litigation after litigation, high press. They could do that to people like DUI guy. No. Oops. Looks like the quote-unquote regular law practice might be the least of your problems. As for the claim that none of us could contact a single one of your clients, please, some of us have ethics, and your antics are so obvious, and we don't need to go digging into your client's business. That's right. They'll find out what kind of lawyer, or kind of attorney, rather, they have soon enough. One who's more interested in making headlines than practicing law. But you can keep telling yourself that none of this is having an effect. That's the denial stage of the process, right? Now, when you talk about private emails getting shared and mocked, Bruce, let me ask you this. Did you really think your email correspondence would just be filed away, never to see the light of day? Your quote-unquote legal points may seem private to you, but once you've opened that Pandora's box, there's no going back. Yeah, it's just like adding people to the case like Shara, talking about things behind the scenes. Did you really think that that stuff was just going to be silent? See, there's people that operate in bad faith like that. Me, like I've said, I do not typically share anything messaged to me. BBB, though, is threatening litigation and more. He's operating in bad faith, in my opinion. Very bad faith. Tacking in other channels. He wants to be like, oh, look, this is what I'm doing. Okay, well, if you want that, okay. And then he didn't like it anymore. Then after he didn't like it, he was like, that's my plan all along. Really? That was your plan all along? Well, then why'd you cry baby about it so much? I'm confused. I'm really confused. He's such a strange weirdo some days. It kills me. But your legal points may seem private to you, but when you open Pandora's box, there's no going back. It's not our fault. You've given us so much material to work with. You keep sending these emails like you're not expecting them to be publicly scrutinized. An artist like me knows when you send something in writing, it's public. It's not a violation of privacy. It's reality. Oh, got a kid right there. What's up, girl?
What's up?
What's up? What you doing?
When I drink that out of Coke, wait, eat something that right for sissy for your washroom. Because sissy asked for a ring of Coke and then her kissy, Joel don't need one here.
Okay. Well, you want me to ask her to make something?
No. And then when I eat the pizza bites, that's why my Coke lay on my belly.
That's where you
disappeared and then had to refill it.
Oh, okay. You refilled it up? Okay. Well, that's good. Are you feeling good? All right. We'll go have fun. It's you got 2 more hours. So it's going to be, well, really 2 hours and a half, and then it's bedtime. Boy, so you better go have some fun. It's our lazy day, so you get to go have fun. Boom. All right. Go have fun. Love you.
Yeah.
Love you.
We have some mac and cheese. I just like mac and cheese too.
Okay, well, we'll do that in a little bit. Okay.
Hungry for mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sissy, to make me some.
I will. Yeah. Then I'll ask her. Okay. I will for sure. Love you.
Cola dough.
I'm sending like I did right now. Okay.
Okay, you text her.
Yeah. Why don't you ask her too? Tell her that I'm asking her to do something. Okay.
Why don't you just call Sissy down here?
No, just tell her that look at her stuff. Okay.
Look at her phone.
Yeah.
At the text message.
Yes. 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 Close my door too. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Gave her some Sprite earlier, and she's like, "Oh, that Coke." That is a colloquialism. I don't know if you've never lived in like deep South. That is what you call every soft drink here, Cokes. Like, it's an interesting thing. If somebody's like, "Hey, you want me to get you a Coke?" and they're like, "Yeah." And then they ask you, "Hey, what kind?" They're not asking you if you want a Diet Coke or a Jerry Coke. They're asking you what kind of soft drink you would like. So, and that goes with anything. So she's like, "Oh, Sprite, that's a Coke." So your Coke register. That's that discussion. She's like, "I had some Coke and pizza bites." Like, okay. So funny. Of course, this is really the last parts of the letter here. Of course, if you want to keep playing the victim, fine. But let's not pretend your behavior doesn't reflect on you. While me, Megan, and Todd, we're just pointing out your actions. That's the real mockery. That is, indeed. The real mockery is pointing out his own behavior, I suppose. When we share your own words, it's not making a fool of you. You're doing that all on your own. That is very true too. But go ahead, continue to deflect and pretend it's all about us. We'll sit back and enjoy the show as your words and actions unravel. You wanted attention, and now you've got it. Yeah, he begged. He was like, "Please, please let me on this show." Okay, well, we let you let her on the shows, right? Didn't like that, I guess. Didn't like that at all. You just don't like recalling out your BS and showing your inadequacies. Finally, I know my flaws, Brucey. I own them. That's what sets me apart from you and your laughable crusade. You're just embarrassing yourself in real time. Maybe take a moment to reflect on that, or don't. Either way, I'll be here, holding court as usual, and you'll continue providing the content that keeps my audience laughing and questioning how you ever passed the bar. Yours sarcastically and sensationally, short bus riding, Velcro shoe wearing, self-proclaimed genius at pointing out obvious mistakes of others, Shizzy Whiz 9. Or you can just call me Papa Nut if you behave. Ooh, baby. P.S. Thanks for buying my next bottle of bourbon. It'll make it good sipping for the upcoming weekend. Oh, that was enjoyable. I like the Shizzy Whiz Nut stuff. He actually, again, spent more time focusing, like he said this time, on the topic at hand, the claims, than actually just making fun of. Or I'm sorry, he's not. He's laughing at this stupid that somebody else is putting out publicly. And you're allowed to do that 100%. Again, he begged for attention. And he tried to load his letter with all of this nonsense. He tries to build up narratives. Now, he ignores everything that doesn't benefit him. But that's the case, isn't it? It's always been the case. So let's hit some super chats here. Wendy Bono, thanks for the 10 months. Hey, Tug and Chat, love my Thugs t-shirt. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I love those. By the way, if you've never checked that stuff out, we've had a few questions. I guess I don't bring up my website enough. Let me actually bring that up while we're here. Love my computer cooperate. Maybe I need to set everything up on. Good Lord, man. It is lagged out today out here. I think it's the weather. We're getting ready to have a real storm out here. So we lag out a bit during that. That's ridiculous, though. ThatUmbrellaGuy.com. I was going to pull it up, but I'm like, man, it's going to lag everything out if I do it. We're going to go robot if I actually go with this. So I'm like, man, the connections out here are awful, though. Try mac and cheese with pimento cheese. I don't think I've ever. I'd have to convince my daughter's at the point. Like if we go to a restaurant and they put on, they put on any garnish or anything else, or they put on any seasoning. She saw a little bit of seasoning on something one time, and she was like, "Oh my God, Dad, it's mold! It's mold!" I was like, "That's not mold. That's seasoning." And she's like, "No, it's mold. It's green. My mac and cheese is supposed to have green on it." Oh, it cracked me up. I was like, that's hilarious. But thank you for picking up the shirt there. Check out ThatUmbrellaGuy.com. Like I said, I'd pull it up here, but I think it'll lag out my entire computer right this minute because the internet connections are so bad. Oh, hey, I love the law racks, by the way. Thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Thugs. Love to you. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, I wanted to go on they had a memorial stream for Jeff, and I talked to people that were involved with it. Like Megan, Rickade, a few other people that I saw they were coming on too. So I talked to some people, saw other people who were there, but there was no way with the kids. Got the kids. There'd just be no way like they would have been all over the freaking broadcast. And for my own broadcast, that's okay. But that was a serious tone, and I don't know. I didn't want to be disrespectful on that. Again, I'm not saying the kids, they don't intentionally do something. They love to be part of. They love to come down, and Dad's here. They don't understand the difference between Dad being here and Dad working. They don't understand the microphone. Like the little one doesn't get that that's work. Too. So I was like, well, I don't know if I can do that. So I did make sure to donate there. And love to Jeff, man. Like I said, I like Jeff to the point that I don't know. I still text, like even like when not around. And it's not to be like, oh man. It's just, man, I wanted for this year, I really wanted that to be, it was going to be his year. I think it was. YouTube wise, he's going to grow and become bigger. And he was a friend, man. Miss him. But anyway, Green Veggie Beast, thanks for the 10. What was your go-to book? Mine was Iron Man and Racer. You mean like comic book wise? Back in the day, like way back in the day, the first stuff was Conan, actually. Marvel had a run of Conan. I also liked Sergeant Rock, but the X-Men was really good back in the day. Spider-Man, that would be amazing at the time. As I got older, though, the mainstream comics didn't appeal to me as much. I would read a lot more independent, and I still read independent. Like I really like stories like Fall of Cthulhu, Lock and Key. I hate what they did with that story, by the way. If you liked the series Lock and Key at all, if you saw it, it was on Netflix, read the books. The books are like, they ruin so many plot points in that. That is an amazing comic book series. It's also written by Stephen King's son. So, that's one a lot of people don't know about. But it is a great comic book series. They threw away some of the greatest plot points in that. They just threw them like in the trash. I do like Hellboy, BPRD, Swamp Thing. But now, manga's big in there. I'm going through When They Cry, which is such a strange, psychologically messed up story. But oh Lord, there's so many books. I like a lot of series. That's what I do a lot of. I listen to I listen to audiobooks for real books typically. Now I have a little more time I can read as well. I've been going through the Silo series, the show that's on Apple TV right now. The Silo series, interesting. I'm not going to ruin anything on that. If you haven't watched it, I like the show quite a bit. But the books follow it pretty well. So I go through those as like legit novels. And then comic book wise and stuff. It just depends. There's a lot of manga, a lot of indie comics. Every now and then some Batman, depending on the story, like Full Moon, I've been checking out. It just depends. But appreciate that. Daily Dysfunction. Thank you for the membership there. Appreciate you, Daily Dysfunction, by the way. Thank you for that. Stacy dropped a $5 super sticker in there. Thank you very much for the $5 super sticker as well. Appreciate that too. That is very appreciated, like I said. Janice, thanks for the 10. Nice to see you today, Tug. I know. My days typically, I plan on, and again, I won't stick to this every week, but my plan is there's one day where everybody is like situated doing their thing, and that's been on a Friday. So I've been dropping videos on Fridays, and everything else I've been live streaming. I actually like the live format. I like presenting it. It's a lot more fun. Megan will be back, like I say, in a few days. So after that, we can get back to game on business too. It'll be a lot of fun. But thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat there. Small business startup grant. There you go. That's how it works. That's what these are. These are not these are not super chats. They're small business startup grants. Thank you there. Ruth, thank you for 10 months. There wasn't a statement assigned to that, but that is in itself a statement. 10 months there. Thank you very much for being a member for 10 months. Thank you. Jack's mom, thank you for the gifted membership as well. Appreciate that quite a bit. Thank you very much. Good to see you too. I hope everybody's New Year is going well too. Again, we're only a few days into a brand new year. Isn't that wild? We had, by the way, let's see. Let me check something out here. We had Liz. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that. There was a $30 that came in. That's awesome. There was also a coffee that came in. I was trying to check it too. Give me 1 second. Oh, is that one through there? Is that what that is? All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah, I set in. People were like, hey, do you have Cash App? Do you have anything else? I'm like, yeah, I added them all. So everybody that wanted to ask about that, I added everything in there. Also, SC, I don't know if you, thanks for the 10 there. You're sent as well. Thanks for the Sunday stream. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Theresa, thank you for the $3 super sticker there too. Appreciate that. I like watching those super stickers roll in. They're interesting. I love the different things that you can do. I think they're kind of awesome. So thank you for that. Cynic in Chief, thanks for the 2 there. Scott probably did it for the cash and regrets it now. I wonder, like, he doesn't, okay. That, like I said, that looks like him on social media. And again, you don't contact or anything. He's not talking about the case. That's what he should do. Like, honestly, he should not be talking about his cases. I'm not saying you can't. Like, there are certain times that it's beneficial. Adam Waldman was a great one at talking about case. But what Adam Waldman was presented with was a case where Me Too had destroyed somebody's entire existence with claims that were so foul. That would be like something pointed at, like, I could understand even with a Randy coming out if there was something that was bombshell, but he keeps it in the courtroom. But Adam Waldman was expert with social media. He knew how to counter narratives because the things that were used in court, you had legit PR teams that were acting in concert against him, against Deb, everyone else. So sometimes you'll have somebody that's good at it and knows how to do that. But for every great one, there are people that are absolutely awful at it. So misbehaving, by the way. Thanks for the membership. By the way, misbehaving. Your letter cut off. There was a certain point. If you look back at it when it's sent, it cut in half. So just noting that from that. I did see that, but it cut off. So if you look back at that and see what it was trying to cut off. Hey, what's up, kiddo?
Hey.
Hey.
Since they brought my mac and cheese, Hale won't give me another.
We'll give you a what?
Another mac and cheese because I burned it.
Because of what?
I burned my mac and cheese.
You burned it?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean it's burned? Will you bring it to me? Let me see it.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. How do you burn how do you burn microwave mac and cheese? Ugh. She's like, Sissy won't give me any mac and cheese. She burned it. Now I have to say, I'm going to see if it's like actually burned or if there's like a spot on it. Because I'm telling you, like if there's like the tiniest speck on it, she'll be like, it's burned or it's molded. And she's the pickiest little monkey ever. She's funny.
Here's the blonde mac and cheese.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
I saw it garbage.
Let me see it.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, yuck. She didn't. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Who burned it?
Yeah, she did that.
Can you make me mac and cheese? Because if you burned it, it won't make me another.
She'll make you another. You
No,
know.
who won't?
Yeah, her will. Her will.
Yeah,
It's not. It's been up there for a while. Like when you're asking if it's hot, it's already been thrown away. Give me 1 second, okay? Just 1 second. I'm gonna mute for 1 second. All right, I'm back. Sorry. I was trying to direct traffic there. Yeah, there wasn't enough water in it, so it burned the edges out of it. That's what the problem was. Ugh, yuck. Ruth, thanks for the 20 there. Go get them, Tug. Thank you for your support of What the Hales. Indeed. You know, when you look at that, like I said, the stuff that's there, if I felt that Jeremy Hales was in the wrong, I'd say he was in the wrong. It bothers me that any reaction a man has is going to be wrong to certain people. It doesn't matter what he does. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if he reacted in the nicest way possible, if he's angry about something. It doesn't matter. There will be nasty spin. Again, they're going back to his old divorce records. What that tells me is in the now, they don't have anything to link to it. This is character assassination 101. This is actually what people do to people in courtrooms. And it's what PR teams do to people outside of courtrooms. Character assassination. There's nothing to build it on. So they take old slights. They take grudges. They take freaking family drama. Meanwhile, you know what they're telling me too? They're telling me, they say that nobody should ever talk about people's kids, right? They just brought up an entire divorce case and took aim with that. So, are they telling me they're operating in bad faith? Because this is an adult out there. They went out and hunted down. There's no agency that they're reporting things to. They're just reporting it to social media, trying to cause some issues. That's it. Yeah, he needs his backing for that. 1 second. All right, can I mute one more time? One second. Hold on. All right. Sorry about that. I was giving some mac and cheese instruction. I was like, hey, I was doing up the steps, so it'd be loud right by the microphone. Cat, Thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Appreciate you there. Ruth, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Ruth. Appreciate that very much so. Appreciate you dropping it on everybody in there too. Yep. Taz, thanks for the 7 months. Jay, it's not perfect. Ask me, but I still support him. Not blind. You shouldn't blindly support anybody, honestly. I don't know of anything else in there, but you should never blindly support a person. What you do is you look at the evidence in a case and you decide on what's happening. Like, that's the way that you figure out in that. Because again, you know, the real thing that's happening is happening in a courtroom. And if you think that this man is having his business unjustly targeted, he's having his life and livelihood destroyed, then you can back them financially, you can support them, but you should tell them for sure, you know, they don't stand alone. But yeah, blindly doing it, never. You don't have to take my word on anything either. 100%, never have to take my word on anything. You do your own due diligence. You don't take you also try to take yourself out of the equation. This is where it becomes difficult. I've had to actually not cover certain things because I couldn't do this. You know, there was a thing with the YouTuber, I'll just leave it at that. But I could not take myself out of the equation. And I tried because I knew the person too well. And I had to be like, man, I can't cover this. I can't cover it impartially. It just doesn't work for me. And that's the challenge sometimes. Even in this, even with PR threatening the dogs, PR going after people, I still have looked at anything that's quote unquote evidence to prove. What's the evidence nowadays, by the way? It's cameras that have been installed watching the man drive down the road. They're like, oh my God, he's on this little back road far too much on the side. Like he's driving by recording. Really? I mean, these fucking people are stalking this man. And they put it out on a PR show. Now, where do those photos come from, by the way? They come from a person that is not supposed to be sharing that with other people. It's on their property. So that in of itself is an Ohio problem. It's just wild stuff to say. One Rad Tech, thanks for the 2. Why would CPS even talk to them about this? Oh, that's a good question, because they could make a report to something that could be legit. It could be a bunch of bullshit. Here's one of the problems: you can't actually verify that did or didn't happen, because CPS operates with a function of anonymity. So there's a veil over everything they do. So as far as that, you can't fact check them on it. And they've lied before. They've fucking just straight up lied about stuff that they've done. Like 100%. Do I believe, though, if they're calling an agency that has nothing to do with Jeremy Hales and using his name, again, that's them going after him with governmental agencies. Like that's nuts. I wonder if they've stuck to just that, or if they've gone much farther. But yeah, I mean, why would they? Well, they'll take a report on something. They'll even placate you when you call in, or I mean, that's their function. They're functionaries. They will placate you. Now, will they investigate something? No. But if they're talking about, if they've gone further than that, if they're alleging that with CPS, that CPS told them X, Y, or Z in a case, they're not supposed to be discussing that with them at all. It doesn't matter, pro or con, they're not supposed to discuss it with them. So if they're telling you that CPS made statements to them, either number one, they are so full of shit yet again, or number two, CPS has violated their own freaking God. Now there are terrible CPS agents out there too. There are. Some of them are accidental. I've dealt with both. I've dealt with the accidental and not so. I've also dealt with some good ones. I've dealt with some decent people that would look into stuff. Like I was telling you, I've had fake CPS calls before. 100%. I've had them over crazy shit. And oh, I mean the Amber Heardies were the fucking awful. But it comes with everything. I figure everything that you ever get involved with, every time you cover something, the distractors. Here's another thing you got to remember. Anytime you cover some, the people that hate you because of this, they will hate you for life. They don't just hate you. Many of them have plenty of free time on their hands, and they will want to ruin your life. So you just carry a chain of these deadbeat losers behind you. They just make up weird shit and try to ruin your life forever. So you always decide if you want to inherit the detractors. So in any case I cover heavily, I try to decide whether or not it's worth that. And I think it's a worthy one. But yeah, back to that question. Talk to them on surface level. They can take a report. Talk to them about a case. They aren't supposed to do that at all. See here, I'll mess up your name. So I'm going with CIR. I'm sorry, but I mess up every name if I try. Thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs. I'm going to break your name up. If I shorten your name, by the way, to something, again, I'm a name butcher. So I hope you don't mind that. That's never intentional. Also, on top of that, drop 5 memberships too. Thank you, by the way. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Cynthia, thank you for the membership here. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership as well. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Appreciate that, Cynthia. Very much so. Love it there. Oh, Lindy, thanks for the 12 there. Thanks for streaming early, so as European and UK folks can get some sleep at a reasonable time. Love from friends. Indeed. One of the reasons we do later streams, by the way, it's the only way we could get Megan and myself at the same time place and not stream on other people at the same time. I'd like to see, like, Jeremy would drop a video about 5. I want to give it a little time to really do its thing. You have other people that would stream it. And now some of these people have dropped off. But one of the constants is Megan with family obligations. You have that. And myself, I'd have family obligations. Like I'd have activities and stuff. So I would sandwich it in between day job, activity, bam, and that would be where it fell. And it'd be the only time that we could both stream at the same time. So that's really why that time slot exists where it is. And I do hate that, doing it earlier in the day. I'm not on my best until noon. The earlier you get, I'm functional, like if I need to do something, but you'll notice like really early streams with Megan, like I'm not as functional. I'm not a day person. I hate operating in the early mornings. Yeah, my early morning is a good time for most of you folks out there. So love to you all. Appreciate you. Love from France. Love return from here. I appreciate all of you all over. It's just that time slot. It's how we had to make that work. And it's been a fun engagement on there. We've had good hosting back and forth. Miss Haven, thanks for the. I sent you that email today as promised. Love you. Yeah, like I was saying on the email, it cut off. If you look at it, it cut off halfway through. So just look at it and see if it just cut off part of what you were writing, because it just stopped. I did see it. I was looking at it for sure. Sandra, thanks for the 5 there. It's going to be over 100 Fahrenheit here today. Send cool air. Whoo, man, I wish I could bottle this and send. We could trade a little bit, Man, it is cold here. It is cold. I got on like winterized socks and it's still cold here. Celine, thank you for 5 gifted memberships too. Thank you, Celine. Appreciate that. Appreciate y'all dropping those on other people too. Good stuff, man. Sue, thanks for the 5. Those agencies should be outlawed. Too much power. The children are sacrificed. Yeah, unfortunately, here's the problem with CPS and other agencies. They are necessary, but they don't function half the time. When there are real legit needs, oftentimes they don't work. They work in the best interest of the agency. And that should never be the case. The agency exists to protect kids. They shouldn't. They should not be weaponized falsely. I do. Huh? Okay, tell her to stop that. Close the door. Okay, well. Okay, stop telling on each other. You hear that? She's like, Sissy sprayed me with a spray bottle. You got like a little spray bottle. It's for it's just filled with distilled water. It's what I give to all of the animals or insects that we have. You know, the like whether it's like spiders or frogs, spray spray their tanks. She does spray. She's like, Sissy sprayed me with a spray bottle. That's hilarious. They love it. They're playing heavily. I mean, you might hear them in the background sometimes because they're playing right now. But they love the little one likes to narc the other one out. She's smaller, so anytime something comes up, you know, her weapon is, I'm going to narc you out. Love it. Suzanne, thanks for the 5 memberships there. Thank you for those gifted memberships. Suzanne, by the way, appreciate you quite a bit. You're here all the time. Thank you. Thank you very much. Rick friend. I like that. I have a friend named Rick. So that's interesting. I like that. I have a good friend named Rick. One of a handful in life I've known for almost all my life. So let's do that. Thank you for the $2 super sticker. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Janine, thanks for the 349. 349. Thank you for the super sticker on that too. Appreciate you. I don't know why I started singing about super stickers, but all right. Sassy J in the UK. I like that flow there. Thanks for the 20. I guess what they were going through with a kid and a pray. I adopted myself and it hits home. I feared this for Jeremy and George, but you and others, Greater SX and chat, I really come together with love. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of us have, you know, experiences are individual too, but a lot of us have, because of our personal experiences, we have some knowledge on how a system works. You know, we have it if we've been in the courtroom. We also have it because of our experiences, you know, in professions. Like again, mental health. I've seen how that system works or doesn't. So yeah, when you come together, and I've also seen as far as weaponization. Again, that the divorce records really annoyed me. I mean, it did. That's the intent too. But they also intend, I mean, that's disinformation. It's not misinformation, it's disinformation. It's totally false. And it's not an excuse, oh, I just read the headlines on it. And you know, again, if you read divorce filings, they read horribly. There are some terrible accusations. There are very few, especially with kids, that read nicely. When things fall apart, again, you look in your own life, if you've ever had a friendship fall apart or something, if you've been lucky enough to maintain excellent decorum with people with that, man, I envy you, because oftentimes it does not work that way. You've probably had at least one experience in your life where when something fell apart, it fell apart bad. And, you know, these are people that know how to hurt you. The closer somebody is to you, the more they know how to hurt you. And it's a sad reality. Heidi, thanks for the 5 there. Losing my religion. If you know, you know. And I am bigger. Yeah. I think when I read BBB, I think Everybody Hurts. Everybody Hurts. That song. It's more of the now I caught this one. Rat's asked about entrapment. I thank you again though for that. Appreciate you. I also caught this one from Ninja Puppy, but I still want to thank you. Appreciate you. Rickles64. Thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Doug's Dugs. Thank you, Rickles. Appreciate it. Misbehaving. Thanks for the 2. Bruce. Bruised ego. Indeed. Hey, who's open the door? Hey, what?
Makes me use a knife 2 days.
Do what?
It made me use a knife for mac and cheese 2 days.
Okay, well, did you get it?
And I have to change it. I have to wash off the knife. Put it back well. It's dry from the towel that's in the kitchen.
Okay, well, you just leave those in the sink and get you a fork or a spoon, okay?
I actually put it there because I dry it off.
Okay. All right, well, good job.
Leave it in the sink, okay?
Okay, well, thank you for telling me.
And I always get a spoon.
That's good. You always get a spoon. That's very good. All right, well, go eat your mac and cheese, okay?
Okay,
All right.
go eat it.
Okay, love you. All right, love you. Bye. Close that door. Close the door. Thank you. Her sister gave her a plastic, like that's a plastic silverware. She gave her a plastic knife in the thing. She's like, she gave me a knife. She's talking about plastic silverware. They come in little sets. She's just in the narker out mode right now. That's so funny. Red's asked thanks for the find there. This oddly was a scent of a Korean case involving an influencer. Oh man, I remember. Yeah, if it's the same one we're talking about, yeah, that one is an absolute disaster. Just an odd aroma I'm picking up. Can't pin it. Something odd, familiar, and sus. Indeed. The way BBB handles it, the disruption of people's lives and stuff. I mean, yeah, I could see some similarities with certain things. It's definitely its own individual. They were talking about the same case. Carol, thanks for the 2 there. But great for pizza bites, indeed. Thank you for that too. She's been a raider today. She's been telling on her sister today. Cutting linguist, thanks for the 2. Would that be DE 2000? I don't remember what that's in reference to. Cutting linguist. I don't remember what that's in reference to. It'll probably dawn on me while I'm rolling through here. Angela, thanks for the 5 there. Is Jeremy only adding one of the PR team? Oh yeah. I saw that one too. That was interesting. I don't know. Am I in the know or am I in the no? I don't know. I like that one too. And thank you, Angela. Jack's mom also hit that one before, but thank you. Appreciate that. I also saw this one, Rider Chick. Thank you for that one too. I appreciate it. Yeah, indeed. Candace, thanks for the 6 months. I've enjoyed these past 6 months of membership. Thank you. Watching you and the little Russians from Bug. So cute. Thanks for coming this time. Indeed. Hey, thank you for being here 6 months. Hopefully you stick around for a lot longer. This, like I said, it'll run past its August date. There will be some mess that comes out the end. I assume there will be counter litigation. It won't be as insane as the major stuff, but you'll also have other things come out. I'm sure it'll be weird and crazy to watch it get there, and there will be other stuff afterwards. But even after that, there's always something. This has replaced my need to watch mindless things, you know what I mean? Like going in and watching. This is developing every day as it progresses, and I find that fascinating. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you. Amel Girl, thanks for the 5. Tug's breadstick fun. Come on, everybody. Thank you, and thank you for that breadstick money. Megan does that much better than me. Daily Dysfunction, thanks for the 2. Tug deserves all the breadsticks. Man, if I could pile up the breadsticks high enough, man, I'd dive into them like Scrooge McDuck. You'd be like, oh, he really loves Olive Garden. Yeah, indeed. I have my favorites. Thanks for 2. Cheesy pasta for Bug. Yeah, I'm gonna I definitely would like to change the name of mac and cheese to cheesy pasta in the house. That is 100% as well. James, thanks for the 5 there. I think you, Shizzy, and Megan should do a live stream for What the Hell's legal fees. What the Hell's is not asked anybody to do that for them. Now, we have here and there talked about legal fees. If that's something, I mean, we could definitely discuss as it moves along, because I mean it's costly for sure, and he does have up something. If you ever want to help him, what you should do, if you want to help him out, there are many ways to do it. First of all, the easiest way is to build a playlist. Pick what you want. You can pick court case. If you like storage activities, whatever, just build it, walk away. If you're not at home in the daytime, leave your computer running. It'll run his videos through that playlist all day long. Bam, good to go, and it'll give them ad revenue for it. You can also, if you want, you can check out their auctions for sure. They have hilarious stuff attached to them. I love it. But also on top of that, they have funding for legal. So if you want to check out anything to help them, you catch their live streams. You can donate. They have different ways. You can pick up their auctions. Like I said, there's many ways to support. But even with that, you don't even have to be around to do it. Just leaving something on. Like that makes more for any YouTuber. Again, if you like this channel and you want to do that, pick out some streams that you see ads on and bust them through. My MCN has been on a good one lately, and we've gotten all the live streams after the fact monetized. Now, they're usually dead by then because they only have a lifespan of about 3 days, usually with something like this, So they kill them for about 3 days. But afterwards, we've been able to revive them. It seems almost intentional. But you do that with their videos. Their videos are monetized. So make sure, again, you can do that. D, thanks for the 10 there. Support for this awesome coverage. Love y'all. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. I've enjoyed the cover. I like it. I think it's fun. Laura, thanks for 26 months. When's Baby Umbrella Girl comic? We have, so where our main comic was, we're at the point where there would be a portion for her. But we're looking at something. We're looking at doing something kind of, I don't want to mess with, I don't want to throw the idea out there before we get it to a certain point. But I've been talking to Dead Punk Gage about putting together something. And there's a cool idea and everything. I think people will enjoy. They can all get involved and give ideas on it. What's up, Liz? Liz signing. Hello, everyone. Hello, Liz. I hope your 2025 is fantastic so far, by the way. Thank you, Liz. Good to see you. Vanessa, thanks for the 10 there. Pizza bites for Bug. And tell her to remind Lug to check her date. It's funny. She has an emergency phone, like if they go out somewhere. But if there's something going on, like where I need something, like while it's in a stream, she has, I tell her beforehand, like turn on the emergency phone. That way, like if Sissy, wants something, like she wants some mac and cheese, there's somebody available right then to, pick it up. She doesn't have to wait. I don't have to walk away. It sometimes works. But she has an emergency one, like if she goes somewhere. That way she can always reach me. But it's funny. It's also used for that. That's why when she's like her texts, Vanessa, thanks for the 5 too. Hurry, Tug. Make her a new one on the double. It was funny. It was burned, by the way. It did get burned. Not enough water in it. Denise, thanks for the 20. Burnt mac and cheese fun for some more. And candy fun. Indeed. Well, that mac and cheese was sacrificed to the altar of, wow, that really was burned. Carol, and thanks for the 5 there. Instead of one more thing from Bug, it's one more time for time. And that's true. That is very true. That's really funny too. I like it. Emma, thanks for the 20 there. New to your channel, but a long-time fan of What the Hales. Thank you for covering their case with such compassion and objectivity. You now have a new member for me. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And again, I feel like they're 100% in the right. Unless somebody's going to manufacture something that I haven't seen yet as evidence, and I don't believe that exists. And you know why? Because the way that they run a fucking PR show all the time, it's turned into gotchas. Gotcha. You know what I mean? That's the PR thing. I don't think there's anything that they have that they've said on that is relevant to this case. There can be things, again, you can go into the character assassination. They can try to do harm, but that just goes back into doing harm for business opportunities. That doesn't have anything to do with the case. As far as the case is involved, I think we've seen everything that they're going to have. I think that's kind of sad, too, that we're at that point. Oh, by the way, let me do something real fast. So Jeremy live streams in about 30 minutes. So we still have plenty of time to finish up everything. I give myself, on these days, you notice I give myself an hour to finish up there because I speak slowly. And I like to, when you all say something, I think you deserve to have it thought about and answered. You know, Megan does that. Jeremy, Shizzy, everybody does that. But I put in a lot of words with it myself. So I'm going to set up the redirect right this minute. I figure you all will go there anyway, but just in case, we will direct there anyhow. We will do a tug rate at the end. We'll time it close. That's why I give myself 3 hours, though, on these Sundays. You know, that's why when somebody was asking about, hey, doing this earlier with stuff, yeah, that's another thing, too. Because Jeremy's case is Jeremy's case. Like, I do not want to stream at the same time they ever do. He's also been decent about, you notice he doesn't overstream people either. When they're talking about stuff, he lets them have their opinion. And that's appreciated. But Sundays, his specific time, his auctions and stuff, I try to stay away from all of that. If I were covering something, it would be a different thing if I ended up streaming anywhere near the same time. But yeah, I appreciate you there, Amy. Thank you. Raya, thanks. Raya, I almost just went one name. Oh my gosh, I'm slipping in my old age, man. 2025, bringing on the wrong problem. Raya, what's happening? So karma killed the mac and cheese. Indeed, I know mac and cheese was sacrificed for the live stream. Sad times. Liz, what's up, Liz? Thank you for the 28 there. More breadstick money. Love those breadsticks, baby. Thank you, by the way. I do very much appreciate that. Hey, I saw another person come in. 1 second. Got 2 others outside of this. I had a backer for 5. I'm going to say NM. I don't know. Some of these other places put names that I can see. So I use your initials normally, unless I just outright know it. And there was also a Cash App for $10 there by, I'm going to say RM. Thank you there. Appreciate that, man. It's awesome. Like I said, I'm trying to do better in shouting those out too. Because again, this stuff runs. Oh, it is, unemployment has been fascinating. It's been good. So thanks for the 2 there. Mac and cheese reserve analysis fund. I know we need some backups. They're important, man. For sure. Marcy, my bad. I got it's small on my screen. Marcy. So I like that name actually. Thanks for the 5 there. So JH drives by and records. He's on a public road. He runs in a publicly advertised turtle rescue. Indeed. He's also got a protective order against people, and he's told in this jurisdiction that if you don't record, it doesn't happen. Their big gunning thing for that is they record him driving by. And then they post it on a PR channel when they're not supposed to be harassing him or anything else. And they start threatening him. They make threats afterwards. Oh, you're going to get yours. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And you know where those pictures come from. So yeah, whoopsie indeed. So thanks for the 2 there. I link to the TN channel the fleas are after. If somebody would link that, I don't know the channel very well. I saw the name the first time last night. So if somebody would link the Tennessee channel they've been after, they just hit the 500 subscribers. If a mod could do that, that would definitely be a good thing. Yeah, it's been wild considering, again, they don't understand Tennessee law at all. I live here. I know how it is. It is a double-edged sword. Like for Tennessee, as far as internet supposed crimes, good fucking luck with that. You know, unless you are actively doing something horrible to somebody, good luck calling in Tennessee and be like, oh, by the way, yeah. And if a person is out there showcasing items that, again, are public record, again, it's very, like I said, it's very telling. They threaten people with crimes and stuff when people bring up legal documents about them. But they seem totally okay with doing that to, how many people have they done that to now? How many people have they doxed and defamed? It's weird. It's weird how it's okay when. Now, for me, I'm not going to say, I stick to certain players in this and to certain parameters. I think certain things come into play and they matter. But that's my own line. That is a self-imposed line. I've done that with other cases too. You know, many of them. So, Shade 85, thanks for the 2. Stay warm. Been snowing all day. Rain is on the way. Ugh. Staying warm here, man. The weather's supposed to get here. It's supposed to be nasty too. So I'm like, oh, gross. Like this, Victoria, thanks for the 10. Tugget upkeep. Do you enjoy those angels? Indeed, I do. They're great. And like I said, this stuff, being my own boss, one of the things that has been greatly beneficial in there, I have more time to do things with them. I'm not stressed. I get to go places with them. I get to plan activities in the daytime, and still I can work. I can sit. Like today, I was like, I can do things 3 hours early. I can look over things. Today we have a quote unquote lazy day because of the weather and everything. And we sat down and played some video games together. We had a good time with it. And we hooked Steam up and we we did some goofy little running gun games, you know, just like an arcade game, pretty much. And it was a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it a lot more. Amy, thanks for the 10 there. Thank you, mods, for all your hard work. We appreciate you all by all words. Indeed. Love to the mods for sure. You keep chaos. If people, every now and then somebody gets accidentally hit with something, if they do, if you get a timeout or something, that's an accident. People apologize for it. I see that happen every now and then. But typically the mods are doing a tremendous job of keeping stupid in its place. Because there's a lot of people that try to disrupt and try to cause problems. And I believe you can have free speech. Said that you're not going to harm the channel. The mods are going to keep that from it. Because, you know, there is a line when you're trying to destroy something. That's not appropriate. When people are trying to disrupt or to take away from, that's not appropriate. People know the line. Come on. I mean, we let people, if you want to disagree on something, you can have your opinions. And the mods do an excellent job of walking that line. I appreciate it. And they do it, I mean, again, they do it because they enjoy what we do. And they're part of it. Like I said, they are so appreciated. So thank you all. Wendy, thanks for the 2. South Louisiana, 79 high, 72 low. Man, that is very, good. That's a good place to be right there. I like it about it at night. For me, I like I'll keep my indoor temperature at about 68 if I could. You know, so 72 would be perfect. I would. I love it. George, thanks for 5. Love you, brother. Well, hey, love return to you, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. You know, for sure. Appreciate all of you. Like I said, it's great stuff. So, thanks for the 2. Say y'all, your mother tugger. Oh man, that's hilarious. By the way, last night, I really wanted to get in with Flashcast, and I did not have a chance to because one of the kiddos was just a live wire last night. So, with the so I redirected to them. I got to catch some of it, but they have that ongoing case with Smash JT that is just insane. So I would like. I'm trying to get over there on Saturday nights. Just everything has to align. Sooner or later, it will align. And Janine, thanks for the 249. This is the first time you said my name right. Oh my gosh, what is happening to me? I dropped the Rhea Rai. I almost call her one of 2. And I get another name right. Maybe it's a cosmic balance. Maybe there's something in the scales. I don't know. That is funny. That is funny. I'm a professional name breaker. That's amazing. I mean, many of you could be like, you know what? I mispronounce names all the time. I'm like, yes, you know what? But I'm a professional at it. Anyway, I'm going to direct you all over to What the Hales. They will be on in 15 minutes. I appreciate it. There's 2,200 of you stuck around for super chats. Thank you. Like I said, I love the thing that gets built out of this. You know, we are covering an awful thing, but at the same time, you can build a positive thing. So I'm going to redirect you over there. And yeah, you have a good one. We'll continue what we do tomorrow. We probably have a Sharo video. Oh man, I hope. Oh God, I hope it drops on time. Thank you.